Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm so excited because I have a first impressions and review for you on a brand new concealer, which I'm sure you guys have seen all over social media. This is the new Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. I am so excited about this. First of all, when I saw this, I was like, holy steroids. This thing's huge. It literally looks like a foundation. Like just comparing it to the Tarte Shape Tape size. I thought Tarte Shape Tape was huge compared to other concealers, but this is so ginormo compared to it. It's crazy. So really excited about that. And just comparing it to a foundation that I have, which is the one that I used today from LA Girl, it's literally almost the same size, which I thought was pretty cool because I've never seen anything like this, so really happy about that. This is supposed to be a 12-hour wear, hydrating, creaseless, no flash, great coverage concealer, basically just like everything that we want in a concealer. And then on the back it says conceal, contour, highlight, retouch. So you can pretty much do, obviously like the title says, a multi-use with it. Like you can do anything with it. The shade range is okay. It's not amazing. I feel like obviously if you're light, medium, tan, you can contour and stuff with it. If you're dark, I don't see you contouring with this concealer, which I think kind of sucks. Hopefully in the future they will come out with more shades, but I mean, I guess for a start it's okay. Like I said, I will do swatches of all the shades just so you guys can see them. I did get this sent to me in PR, but this video is not sponsored. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Hopefully it is helpful if you're looking into purchasing this concealer. I'm not exactly sure when this launches. I think today is the day that it launches, which is Tuesday. Pretty sure, don't quote me on that. I'll leave all the details in the description box if you guys are interested. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so like I mentioned, I do have all the shades, and right now I'm pretty tan. Not super tan, I can get way darker than this, but I have a little bit of a light tan, so I'm going in with the shade Warm Beige. I'm gonna apply the concealer like I normally would, just because you guys know I use a lot, so just a little FYI. I think this shade is actually gonna be really good for me right now. Ooh, it kind of already reminds me of the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, which you guys know is my fave. Like, that is my jam. And I'm actually gonna take this down the bridge of my nose, and I'm just gonna apply this pretty much where I would normally apply my concealer, which is where I'm applying it right now. You don't get a ton of product on the wand, just kind of like a little detail that I've noticed. You do have to kind of dip back in if you want more product, but I mean, that's nothing crazy. I'm gonna just use my original beauty blender. I feel like I never use this anymore. This is just the sapphire one. Ooh, it's blending in pretty quickly. Now I have really bad under eye creases. Like even Tarte Shape Tape will crease on me, not as much as other concealers, but no matter what I do, it always happens. So I try to do stuff to kind of like, you know, trick the system with my under eye. But usually it always happens, which it doesn't really bother me because I'm used to it at this point. Like I said, I have concealers that crease on me way worse, and Tarte Shape Tape is one of the ones that doesn't crease on me as much, which is why I love it so much. But I love this concealer already. This is amazing. I think the coverage is great. Definitely does feel hydrating. Tarte Shape Tape does feel a little bit more, I don't want to say drying, because like my under eye isn't dry, but when you compare it to this, Tarte Shape Tape has a soft matte powder finish, whereas this one is definitely hydrating, and you can even tell how it looks underneath just from me like blending it out, which I personally really like. I feel like your under eye area should be, you know, super hydrated, just because that area can get dry really easily, especially if you're not using eye cream and stuff. The coverage for me is there. I think it looks great. It's blending great. It looks really good with this foundation that I used, which by the way, like I mentioned earlier, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation, and I think this combo together, I'm living for it. Okay, so that is what it looks like, and I always like to let my concealer sit before I go in with powder, just because I'll show you guys what I do, but it helps with creasing. So I am gonna go ahead and just cream contour a little bit. I've been really into this lately. I would personally never retouch with this concealer. Like I never retouch my concealer or any like liquid products throughout the day of me wearing my makeup. The only retouching I usually do is with powder, so that's just me though. So to cream contour, I guess I'm gonna go in with the shade Maple. I don't know how this is gonna go, but let's just go with it. Yeah, like you don't get a lot of product on the wand, so you do have to kind of like dip back in. definitely super hydrating. Like, I look super glowy right now, so totally agree with the claim. I like the coverage of it. I like how applying this concealer over top, I feel like even though the concealer does have good coverage, it doesn't make the face, like after cream contouring, look cakey. I think it looks actually really good, and I'm actually living for it, and I think that color for me currently is super on point. So what I like to do whenever I am going to go ahead and set my under eye, I like to take a small little brush. You can use your sponge as well, but the brush is a little bit more precise. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush, and I like to go in and kind of blend out any creases that may have formed before setting the concealer, which don't look like much. So I'll like go like this to see the creases, and you can see I have a little crease right under here, and I just literally will go in and blend it out with this brush before setting, because if you set before doing that, then you're already setting a crease. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eye, and I'm gonna use my favorite powder. This is my absolute favorite in the entire world, which is the Galab Set the Stage Ultra Fine Loose Setting Powder. And I have this one in the shade Porcelain Ivory. I've never actually tried this with being dark like I am now. Like, I'm not dark, but I'm tan. So hopefully it'll be good. I'm not gonna bake with this because I usually don't bake. It depends, but today I'm not going to. And you can get this powder at Sally's Beauty Supply, and seriously, if you don't have it, I'm mad at you right now if you don't have it, because you need it in your life. It's the best. It doesn't give flashback. So I am taking this powder with my beauty blender and applying it where I applied the concealer, which is my T-zone area, of course, and underneath my eyes. Okay, so obviously I need to finish up the rest of my makeup, but I'm super impressed with the way that this looks right now, just underneath my eyes, and the way that it's set. Like I mentioned, I do have creases under my eyes. I'm human. I don't have any filler or anything like that, so it doesn't look perfect. This is what the under eye looks like for me. This is not bad at all. This is actually great, because I've had some concealers that just look so dry that the creases will literally come down to here. So this for me is like really, really good. Ooh, this might replace my Tarte Shape Tape. Might. It might. I don't know, but it might. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, I really like this concealer. Like, really love it. I love the formula. I love how creamy it is. It blends seamlessly, and I love the coverage. I think the coverage is really what is just like selling me on this so much, because I really hate light coverage concealers. I'm a medium to full coverage kind of girl. Foundations, I can do light coverage sometimes, but my concealer needs to be good coverage, and this is, I'm living for it. Like, I really, really like it. I would probably have to test out Tarte Shape Tape next to it side by side. I know I probably should have did that today, but I really wanted to just test this on both eyes to see how it would wear. I'll do that in another video, and I can test both of them out to see which one I like better. But for me, honestly, they both are very, very similar. I think for me, it's just the Too Faced one, it feels a little bit more hydrating, whereas Tarte one can be a little bit more, I don't want to say drying, but powdery, more matte. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into some swatches right now with the shades. I'm going to categorize them into light, medium, and deeper and darker ones, just so you guys can kind of see and get a feel for them. So the first one is Swan, which is very fair, very, very cool tone. Snow has a little bit of a pink undertone to it. Almond has a slight yellow undertone. Porcelain, Vanilla, and Nude. So these are very, very fair. Okay, so next we have the light to medium shades. Golden Beige is probably the shade that I would be if I was super fair. Light beige, natural beige would also probably suit me as well, and maybe even warm beige as well. Sand, warm sand. So now getting into the darker shades, we have Honey. Next we have Butterscotch. This is super warm. I really like this color. Mocha, Maple, Chestnut, Mahogany, another very warm color, Toffee, and Cocoa, which is the darkest color. So honestly, I think for concealers, the shade range is not bad, because considering a lot of people usually will go down a shade or two for their concealer, like underneath their eyes, I think the shade selection is actually, it's not bad. It could be better. I think there's always room for improvement, of course, but it's not terrible. I've seen way worse, and I think, you know, for this first launch, it's pretty decent. The only thing that I kind of like am disagreeing with is the contouring aspect of it. I feel like obviously if you're super, super dark, like in the Cocoa shade range, you're not gonna have a shade to contour with. So that's where I feel like it could use a little bit of improvement, but all in all, I think the shade range is not awful. My first impression right now is an A+. I really don't have any complaints about the concealer. Formula-wise, I think it's great. I really like it. I'm loving it. So right now it is 9:22 a.m. I'm gonna just come back in a few hours. I'll let you guys know how it's wearing, but so far I think the creasing is minimal and the coverage is. So I'm giving this 2 thumbs up right now, but we'll see if that changes in a few hours. So I'll see you guys soon. Okay, just kidding, I'm back. I turned off my ring light because I want to do a quick flash test. I know I did set my makeup and everything, but I do want to see if there's any like whiteness or anything that will peek through. So I'm gonna just use my phone, and I'm actually gonna use Snapchat camera because I honestly love Snapchat camera more than regular camera. I don't know why. I don't use Snapchat anymore. I just use it for photos and to creep on people. Ooh, I think that looks actually really good. I mean, obviously this is not like a super cute picture of me, but I'm living. I really am digging this. Okay, officially, I'm going now. I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back. Right now it is 3:20 p.m. so I've been wearing the concealer and everything for about 6 hours, and I'm going to zoom you guys in so we can see the under eye area and how it's looking. Alright, so this is what my under eye is looking like. So there is a little bit more creasing than earlier, and I know this is very raw. These are my imperfections. My under eye area is not perfect, but honestly, this has been way worse. Like, there are concealers that will really dry this out, and even though my fine lines have really been a little bit prominent with this concealer, this is not the worst that it's been, which is crazy, I know, because it doesn't look the greatest, but it doesn't look the worst, in my opinion. At least I know, because like I said, I've tried things that have been 10 times more like prominent. I feel like the concealer is very similar to the Tarte Shape Tape as far as like the way that it wears on my under eye, and I'm not mad about it. I actually really like it. Overall, I think that the concealer is definitely worth trying. I'm still giving this 2 thumbs up. I like the way that it wears. Yes, my under eye area is creasing, but it's nothing crazy. I think for the full coverage that it gives, it's not bad at all. Love the formula. I liked the way it also wore on my skin as far as like contouring and stuff goes, so I'm really happy with it. I definitely think it's worth trying, so let me know what you guys think down below. Are you going to be picking it up? I just saw on Instagram that it actually is available right now as you guys are watching this video, so let me know if you're going to be purchasing it or not, because I think this is going to be definitely a new favorite for me, and I will definitely compare this with the Tarte Shape Tape in an upcoming video for you guys so you can see them both side by side. This is definitely not the same coverage as the original Too Faced Born This Way. That one is definitely way less coverage, but I do still like that concealer as well, but I think it just depends on the type of coverage that you are looking for. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in a few days in my next one. Bye.